Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in Void Hunters, what I want to do with the end of the open alpha just a couple days away, I want to do a review of what the game has been so far, what we've had access to. Very similar to the Godforge review that I did just probably last week. So I want to jump into this, give you my thoughts on this, and hear your thoughts as well. So let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. And because this may be a bit of a lengthy video, I will have timestamps in the description below in case you want to jump around. Same format, 5-star system. 5 is amazing, 4 is great, 3 is good, 2 is and 5 is awful. So what I want to do is I want to start with the visuals and the progression when we take a look at the art in the game. It is a dark fantasy turn-based RPG. And they definitely deliver on that dark tone. This is the hub right here. It's pretty simple. I'm hoping to see more, especially once we get guilds and stuff into the game. But let's take a look at the hunters. When we take a look at the visuals, a few things here. I mean, now I have always been amazed. I've said this from the very beginning, just at the art, the direction, the imagination behind these characters have just been really good. A lot of personality, a lot of movement. One of my favorites is Jagia here. I mean, she's got bright eyes that comes around, and it just looks really good. Look at you've got him drooling on the floor here. Let's go. This guy, we got Candlehead here. He looks pretty good as well. The detail is very cool, very very unique. Right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at her. I think I showed her before. There is some movement, not like a ton. You know, when I move her around and stuff, you can see her hair move. You can see this move. Some of it doesn't move as much, but you still see kind of like back here, the movement. Let's take a look at some characters that I may not have seen. This guy right here. This guy, I mean, just look at these characters. Very cool. This guy's drooling too. All of their dogs are drooling. Look at all these in his back here. Oh my gosh. All right. Another one. This guy, I always show this guy. Very sad looking guy here. We got this dwarf here just kind of barely limping along, but he's got this void creature on the background. I mean, all over him, right? He's got a hand on his head, on his hand, on his leg. I mean, it's just, the art here is very cool. Let's go ahead. Let's show another one here. Here's one. Here's a character that you can do missions to unlock. Looks very cool. She's got like this void type cape, you know, on the back here, which is really cool. So I think when it comes to the visuals and everything, they have done a fantastic job. Let's talk about progression. So with progression, I'm going to go to my favorite character here, Jagia. We've got relics. They're not active now, but they will be eventually. Not sure when, maybe in the next beta. We've got gear, so you got a gearing system. You put enough gears of the same type together, you get bonuses. So pretty simple stuff there. The awakening system, I'm actually going to go to a different character for. Let's go to this guy right here. Is a little bit different. So this operates off of a dupe system. So you get dupes of characters. If I go ahead and click on this, you can see I take dupes right here, right? So you have characters here of all the different rares. It takes a rare to do it, so you can use a character or you can use kind of like these wild tokens. And as you level up, the rarity of the token increases, right? So you'll do 3 rares to get up into the epic tokens. So you got all the epic characters here, and then you got these wild tokens. You do 3 of these wild tokens, which will then take you into the legendaries. So as you're drawing characters, right? So now you have his specific tokens that we can do. So we can use these wild ones, or we can use his right here. Boom, that'll take him up. Then it goes to 4. And then you max out. No, that actually maxes them out. And you can see as our stars continue to increase here. And then red stars. Red stars are that character's token specifically. So I can go ahead and I can do all of that. Oh, I ran out of gold. I had tons of gold. But anyway, you can see a couple more. And it doesn't increase here, which I think is cool. Because of how difficult it is to get dupes of legendaries, it's nice that it just takes one all the way through. So you do need 6 dupes of him in order to get him to 6 red stars. But that's how that ranking system works. I like it. It's clean. It takes into account the rarity, so it's not too easy to max star your characters out, but it doesn't take forever at the same time. So I think it's really cool. So we got some great visuals, the movement physics and everything I was talking about, the advancements. So other than the awakening, we have skills. You upgrade your skills just like you would anywhere, anything else. You have hunts. These hunts, you have specific trophies that you are farming so that you can increase the hunt level. As you increase the hunt level, it allows you to further increase the level of your heroes. And then I believe that's it as far as the progression system goes. So the progression system is pretty good as well. So I think overall, when we take a look at the character visuals, we take a look at the progression system on the ranking, I'm going to say 3.5 because I think it's a little bit better than just good, but I don't think it's great, and I don't think it's amazing. So as we continue to watch this game develop between now and global launch, it'll be interesting to see where that ultimately falls. But I think 3.5 is a fair score. Taking a look at visuals and progression. Next, I want to talk about combat. But first, before we get into combat, I want to share some stuff with you. So when we take a look at skills, it's a typical turn-based RPG system where you have a progression, you have a turn meter, and as that turn meter grows, then it's your turn. You can see what that looks like on the battlefield. You have synergies between abilities between specific characters and also within the factions or these tags up here, like this one here is specifically Holy Order. This one here, let me go to this Vowkeeper piece. I'm going to show you the Holy Order Vowkeeper mechanic. These are systems that different characters have, different abilities that gets added to what they can currently do. I'm going to show one with Reed here as well. But this Vowkeeper here, right here, the character fights to fulfill their vow. Then he gets Nathaniel's vow, which is plus 20% attack. And this character is called to assist with 50% assist damage, negative 50% assist damage each time Nathaniel uses a skill. So basically, he gives Nathaniel's vow to his entire team, and as he attacks, as Nathaniel does a skill, then he gets assists from his team. It's a whole lot of assisting with this team, which I think is pretty cool. Each one is a little bit different. Like this guy right here, if we take a look at his is Igravain's vow. So each time this character is about to gain guard, then they gain invulnerability instead. So just a different mechanic for each one of them, but you can only ever have one as a Vowkeeper during that fight. All right, so we'll go ahead and back out of this. Let's go into a combat. Let's go here. And let me just pick one of these. Let's go to this one right here. And then put my team together. I think what I'm going to do, I typically have Jiagi here, but I am going to put Reed in here just to show another mechanic as well. So let's go in. Now down here on the bottom left, you're going to see additional abilities of heroes. On the bottom right, that's their core abilities. So you've got basics and a couple specials. Here's the Vowkeeper, the Holy Vows one. And then we've also got this one here, Embrace the Void. This is another mechanic in the game, which I don't know is really valuable right now, but it gives additional effects. But there's also a drawback to it too. So as it makes your team more powerful, you also have this purple bar that's going to corrupt you. And then if you get fully corrupt, I think it's succumbed, then you see a drop in your stats, HP and defense and things like that. So you really want to make sure to get through it really quick or have characters on the team that can help reduce that corruption as well. So another strategic layer when you're putting teams together or when you're going into specific battles. So let me go ahead, get out of this. I'm going to hit my Vowkeeper for Nathaniel because he's my favorite when it comes to that. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So basically, anytime there's a buff on the team, then he gets a vow right here, this Vowkeeper. And once that gets up to 20, then his full Vowkeeper thing is fulfilled. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm up to 8 right now. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do this right here. Just get the vows up super, super quick. And then let's do this one here from Igravain. So we're up to 20. Oh, it's 25. Is it 25? Or actually, it's 30. Okay, here's another one here. So for Reed, I wanted to bring him in here because, yes, he's got the Void Touch stuff as well, but he's also got this mechanic here as well, Assassination. So target enemy becomes marked until they are killed, and then all other enemies gain, 15% turn meter up. Gain 10% turn meter up, plus 5% for each assassin ally. So again, a piece, that synergy when you have like characters on the team. So I haven't used that much. There's not a ton of assassin characters to play around with, but those are the types of synergies that we're seeing with this team. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Boom, he goes invisible. I'm gonna do this. I've almost got my vows maxed. There, it's 30. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, I'm at 29, so it's still going. Let's do this. Boom. Now we've got this. Let me go into his things right here. So we've got high morale. So 25% chance to get a bonus turn, which is nice. And then everybody else does as well. So then when I do a turn with Nathaniel, I get an assist. So let me just go hit this guy here. Boom, and I get an assist. So I think it's nice when it comes to a combat system. I really wanted to share some of that complexity there. It's more than just the skills, the core skills that you have. You've got the void skills. You've got these Vowkeeper mechanics. You've got other mechanics with other characters. Again, that adds another strategic layer when you're building your teams. We only have 40 characters available here, so it was limited when putting teams together. Really excited to see more characters in the game so that we can really test more of those synergies. But I really like that. So it's that complex, strategic turn-based combat system, several synergies I talked about, and then the void mechanics. So I think overall when it comes to mechanics, being complex but not too complex and not overly simple, I am going to give the combat system a 4. I think is a great system, and I can't wait to see how it evolves between now and global launch either. All right, next, let's talk about world immersion. All right, world immersion. I'm going to go all the way out of this battle. Now, when we talk about world immersion, it's all about the game, how it brings you into the world. And I think when we take a look at character art, there is some of that in there as well. But as you can see, like when I go into here, it brings me a little bit closer to the world. So I can see the world, I can see the road here. Another piece that really draws me in is you got these branches off of the campaign to go ahead and gives that sense of exploration. Let me go into the hunts. Let me go back out of here. I've got a hunt that's going on, or did it expire? It expired. But let me go into this hunt right here. Select my party, go in. Again, you have that look. So it's all shrouded, right? This is that roguelike game mode. This is all shrouded and everything, but it brings you in, again into that world. And then you have different paths to take. And based on the paths you take, it will give you different battles, different characters that are going to receive buffs from battle to battle. But hey, you may go one route, and then over here, there's a mission to complete. So now you got to go through it again and go the other route. I like the choices that it offers, and the benefits that you get from that. There's also in here, there's a node called a void layer, where as you go into the void layer and you beat that first battle, you got another layer to go into. So you can either back out and continue moving across this map, or you can go to that next level. And then there's a third level in that void layer. And once you beat that, then it's just you get increased rewards as you go through those. I'd like to see that happen more, those types of, again, that layer of exploration, that sense of it, I think is really, really cool. So when it comes to that, we've got good story, we've got good backgrounds. When we go in here, let's go into one of these battles here. I really like the detail in the background. You've got the void stuff swirling around. You've got birds and trees wiggling in the background, even in the far backgrounds here. You know, you've got the trees wiggling. You've got that life in the world here. You've got things swirling around here. You've got your characters here. Once they sit too long, they kind of do their own thing a little bit. I like that. So I think with that, and also we've got bosses in the game that have like MMO type battles. Like in the prisoner, you've got the prisoner, and you've got a couple pillars, and you've got to take as you take a pillar down, it causes the prisoner to stun. That way you can do more damage. Then he shakes the stun. Then you bring another pillar down. But each time you bring a pillar down, it not only stuns the prisoner, but it also does some damage to you. So there's some strategic thinking that comes into play there. It just really kind of, they did a great job pulling you into this world and bringing you close, whether it's the campaign map or the hunt maps or bringing life to the stages. I think they've done a really good job. So with that and the exploration and everything, all that stuff, world immersion, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think they've done a really good job just kind of bringing you into the world and making you a part of it. I think it's cool. Gameplay loop, that's the last piece. Let's go ahead and back out of this. I'm going to abandon the hunt. When it comes to the gameplay loop, again, this is an open alpha. So they've got a lot already packed into this open alpha for us to explore. So we go in here, we've got our campaign, we're continuing to move through that. We've got patrols that we unlocked, which is the dispatch mode. You send your teams out for a certain period of time. They're going to come back with resources. That's always good just to help with a healthy flow of resources coming in so that you can continually work on your teams. We've got PvP and a ladder system for us to climb. So we're going in and we're doing that. We've got different challenges. And as you beat like the bosses, so we've got the prisoner boss here. Once you beat the prisoner boss in the campaign, he becomes a challenge. So then you go back and you redo that challenge, but it's harder, right? And you've got different levels. So I go into here, you've got all these different levels of difficulty and also team structure that's required to beat. So the fact that you also have to come up with different teams. And then again, when you start a game, right, you want to have your roster narrow, but then you want to slowly build out. And that's what really comes into play with this type of stuff. So I think that's really cool there as well. You've got all these different challenges, tons of them that you get all sorts of resources from. This game does not short you on resources. It's not like plentiful and abundant and you're never going to have to worry about it. You still have to do some strategic thinking and resource management, but you've got a lot of different ways to bring resources in and to challenge yourself and the teams that you're building. So I think it's really cool. Not only that, do you have the challenges, but then again, you've got the world map as you're working through the campaign, and then these hunts. You're continually doing these hunts and leveling them up. Because as you level them up, you get better and better resources that are going to help you gear and rank up and strengthen your teams and your characters. So I think they've done a great job there. I still think there's some other things that they can bring into the game. And I know they've got some stuff planned, which is really, really cool. But I think overall for the gameplay loop and how much we have, just looking to make sure I take a look at my stuff. One thing I didn't look at was the quests. You've got your dailies, weeklies, and monthlies. You've got missions, different missions here, Relics of the Past, Shadowlands, and then a ton of them to complete. And as you complete them, you get rewards. Hunter missions, these are missions that you go into, and you do missions to unlock hunters who are not summonable until you unlock them. Then they can be summoned. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got achievements, a couple different ways to get resources there as well. So there's a lot of stuff. I think from a gameplay loop perspective, I'm going to give it a 3.5 as well. It's better than good. So again, what we're seeing here in the open alpha, I think is a fantastic start. And I can't wait to see what the beta looks like, what early access looks like, what global looks like. This game really does have me excited. So at a 3.5 on the game loop overall, averaging those scores, my overall rating for the Void Hunters open alpha is a 3.6, which I think is pretty high. And I felt I was being pretty conservative with some of those scores too. But hey, you tell me, what do you think about the Void Hunters open alpha? Have you had a chance to play it? If not, what do you think about what you've seen? All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.